You are listening to a very special episode of the Your Next Move podcast. This was an intimate dinner with our Visibility Shift clients and a special guest. Enjoy. All right, everyone. We're going to start our conversation, if you don't mind. We want to make sure that there's... Sorry, I took your knife. That's all right. We want to make sure that there's lots of time for questions with Elle. So we're going to start now. The food will come. We'll just continue to talk if you don't mind. Is that all right with everyone? Yes. Okay, this is also going to be a podcast. So you'll see it go out, but y'all will get video on all the first things first. I just have to say also, I am so grateful that each and every one of you came out. Some of you came from near and far. The Visibility Shift was a program that people who know me have been pushing me to do for a few years, but I rebuked it because I was so used to doing career transitions. Then I did more manager coaching, and people are like, why don't you teach people to do what you actually do? And I was like, but I don't know. They're like, but you do it. Why can't you teach? And y'all are here, and you're killing it. So I'm so excited. I had to bring my good friend Elle. She is in a group program. She runs a group program that I'm also a part of called Brand Builders Group. So you'll hear us mention that as well. You also have books. I'm just taking your knife. I'm going to take your book. She brought you all gifts. A wealthy and well-known. The founders of Brand Builders Group wrote this book. He's a New York Times bestselling author and his wife.
This book hit New York Times.
Yes, it hit New York Times again. So now he's 2 times. But I'm going to turn over to Elle. Can you introduce yourself? Tell people who you are. Because I've been bragging about you. So you say who you are in your terms.
I'm Elle. I am one of the founding members of Brand Builders Group. And to give you all a little context, before I ever got into personal branding, we had a sales consulting and coaching company that we also had a speakers bureau. And so that's where I got to learn about the speakers world. Is I was selling speakers nonstop for a really long time. And then an event which you'll hear a little bit about in that book is myself and AJ and another woman all got fired on the same day. And Rory resigned from this company. And then we started Brand Builders Group a couple of months later. And one of the things that I learned is I thought at the time I knew nothing about personal branding. And that's not true, because your personal branding is just what people think of when they think of you. And so it's now going...
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You're okay.
It's okay. Yeah, yes, whatever you like. It's
what
okay.
I learned in that journey is not only did I get fired during that time, I got a divorce. I relocated. I almost went bankrupt. I got slapped with a 6-figure tax bill. And my life fell apart. But what fell apart too were all the identities that I had. So all the identities of I'm this top producer, I'm a partner in a company, I'm this successful person, I'm a wife, I'm all these things got stripped. And what I learned through that was if all these identities were not mine that I chose, they were identities that people had of me, had expectations of me, had put on me, that I just fell into or thought I had to live into. And over that time, this is what ties into personal branding, is if you don't tell people who you are, they'll decide for you. And so the purpose of this is going, who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? And how do you communicate that to everyone else? So that's a little bit about me and why I'm here today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you, we have speakers in this room of various levels. Some folks are already charging and getting gigs. They just want better gigs. Woo. Some folks are in the first initial stages of what they're doing. So we are celebrating it all. What would you say are the top 3 things emerging speakers need to focus on to continuously start to get engagements?
First thing is relationships. So you want to, this is one thing we say all the time, build relationships before you need them. So, for example, I am in the middle of pre-recording to launch a podcast that I've wanted to do for years. But instead of launching it years ago, I spent the last few years building relationships with people. And every single person who is a guest on my podcast right now, pre-recording with me, has over 100,000 followers online, if not more, and millions of dollars. Now, that's a brand new podcast that most of them would say no to. But I focus on building relationships. So part on getting on stages too is you want to make sure you're investing in relationships before you have an ask or before you need them. So I would say first thing is This room, you guys are investing in relationships. One of you does a speaking engagement. Hey, let me introduce you to this person. Let me introduce you to that person. You guys are really curating a really awesome network here that you can leverage each other, because chances are you don't speak on the same things. And so that's really wise. So that would be a part of building speaker partnerships and relationships. The other thing that I would say that emerging speakers need to do is get really comfortable with selling yourself. No one is going to sell you for you. People always want to ask, how do I get a bureau? How do I get an agent? How do I do this and that? It ain't coming, because the way they make their money is they make their money when it's easy to book you. Well, guess what? If you're easy to book, you don't need them. You only need them because you're so busy that they manage all the logistics for you.
And you get to keep all of those fees that you would have given them if you just booked yourself.
Mm-hmm. Most bureaus take 20 to 25%. Yes. And they also won't spend time with you unless you're consistently booked for over 10K plus. So think of all the investments you had to make in yourself and the time and energy you put in to get to a place of now you're selling yourself for 10K, and then they come along and take 25% of that. It's like, you don't need them. We had a speakers bureau, but it was an internal one, and meaning like we were booking our founders and our team. We weren't booking outside speakers. And we don't believe that you should do bureau business unless you're at a point where it's like you're a solopreneur, you have so many leads coming in, and you just need someone who makes sure they don't fall apart. And then the third thing is figure out where you want to go speak. Like, what is your differentiator? How do you compete? And what people pay for is for you to solve their problem. So what are the problems that you solve in the market, and communicate and speak to that? I would say those are the things, getting clear on what problem you solve.
And that's why y'all got all that feedback from me on your X Factor statements. I knew some of you were a little tired of me going back and forth. But we want to make sure that it's so clear, because when someone can regurgitate like, oh, this is what you do, this is who you're serving, then you get booked more. Okay. So the next question, for some of you, we've been talking about fees, right? Everyone's like, yes, I'm excited. So I want to hear about like the phases of like, what are the type of fees that you recommend for speakers from the beginning, like someone who's booked nothing, someone who's had a handful, like when, and I know, and I'm saying this, and I'm asking someone who, Elle has also been asking me to raise my own fees for a long time. So we're not going to talk about that today as I look away from her.
Would you like a coaching session?
No. Elle's been pushing for like a minute. I still haven't said the number she wants me to do because I'm not comfortable with it yet, because I feel like you have to be comfortable saying it first. I can't say, oh, I want you to book me for $30,000. And I'm like, like if you can kind of do 30,000. So I have to work on my own stuff. Right now I'm at 22.5. She wants me to do at least 25. By the next book, the goal will be 30. But what do you recommend?
Okay, let me tell a story. This is what pisses me off about the difference between men and women, right?
Yes.
There's a one specific client I'm thinking of who he's now getting booked consistently for over 20,000, right? And I was like, how did you, and part of me was like, you haven't been a speaker that long? He's like, well, I got this one gig that was like 5,000 or 3,000, and then someone else called and they asked what my fee was, and I just told them 10, and then someone else called and told them 20, and all of a sudden he just throws the number out there and he gets it. Yeah. And I'm like, but as women, we're like, oh, we have to have this right, and we have to have this, and we have to, like, even our CEO, who is an extremely experienced speaker, multi-million-dollar consultant, has started and ran several companies, who is a New York Times bestselling author. She's like, yeah, 15,000. I'm like, I'm not selling you for 15. I'm like, I'm not going under 20 for you. I'm not going under 25 for you. And she's like, yeah, then I'll do it. I was like, no, this is why you don't negotiate your own fees, because you'll always under negotiate. And so I think looking at yourself, like how your best friend would look at you and go, you're fucking, sorry, can I cuss?
You can cuss.
Pardon me.
It's good.
I'm like, you're fucking amazing. Like, you are badass. No one else does it the way you do. You have da-da-da. It's like your best friend will hype you up all day long, and then if they were to go sell you, they'd be like, yeah, she won't do it for under 50, right? And it's like, there has to be integrity there too, right? Like, you can't just, and I think that's where we struggle a little bit. I'm very much of when you are brand new, speak for free as much as possible. Here's why that works. Also, to give context, our former company, the way that we got clients is we would go book free workshops, speak for free, and then close the room at the end on a coaching program. So I have spoken for free probably over 1,000 times because I did that for years. And so when you speak for free, even today, like depending on what type of event it is, I will go speak for free. I did a speaking engagement in Florida for one of our clients in front of financial advisors who are one of my favorite types of clients to work with. I got 8 speaking engagements from that. So that were paid. And so you go speak for free if it's the right audience, and then you get spin off from that. An easy place to do that are associations, because associations are always looking for content. I'm sure you told them all this already.
No, I love it because they're saying the same thing. So like, I think it always hits. It's almost like you need someone else to say it too.
Yeah.
Because I tell them that when you're speaking, it's like you want to do 3 things. It's brand building. It is lead building. So you're getting leads for the next engagement. Or you're making money. It's income generating.
Yep.
Those are like the 3 reasons you want the audience to work for you. So when you're thinking about like the entry person, so let's say someone has spoken for free a bunch of times. They're like, all right, I'm ready to make some money. What should be their rate? If they say, like, what's your budget? And the person says, well, what do you pay? Like, and they have to give a number. What number would you say for that first engagement that is paid?
I think it depends on your marketing materials.
Ooh.
So
The booking guide. Yeah.
Yep. So it's going, do you have a speaker kit? Do you have a one sheet? Do you have program descriptions? Do you have a fee schedule? Do you have a speaker page on your website, right? Do you have social media content that you've been putting out? What are the levels of that? That's one of the reasons why doing a brand shoot. Lewis Howes, if y'all don't know who that is, he's a huge podcaster. Yeah. So he's actually why we started our company. He launched our company on his podcast. And so he told us that his number one secret to his personal brand was investing in photography, because photography gives an emotion when people see it, and it tells you how you want to be experienced. And so doing a thing like a photo shoot is so valuable to your brand. But it's also one of those things that there's also another, I have to get the name of it, but there in different cities across the country, there are photographers that will do photo shoots for free.
SHOOT.
That's it. And then you just pay for the prints you want. So you don't, so it's like, that's a really affordable way to get new photography often. Where was I going with that? So marketing materials, right? So part of that is the level of your marketing materials will help you charge more. Having a demo video, right? You can fake a demo video. You can get your girlfriends in a room in a corner and like stand in, and it looks like you're in front of a whole stage, right? You can hop on a stage at church or whatever it might be and like get a photographer in between something and then hop right off, just so it looks like you're on stage. There's all these ways to do it that are scrappy, that don't cost a lot of money to do it. Like my demo video is better than most people's. I spent $300 on it. Now I got all this footage over years, but to finally pull together was $300. So marketing materials will allow you to increase your rates. So when you're starting out, it's like, I can't tell you if you should charge $1,500 or $3,000 or $5,000 or $7,500 or $10,000 or $12,500 or $15,000 and so on and so forth, because I haven't seen your marketing materials and I haven't seen you on stage. So the other thing is, we know the best way to turn a stranger into a raving fan is through a 1-hour presentation. So it's not so much always what you say, but it's how you say it. So if you think about it, have y'all ever heard a speaker and you're like, oh my gosh, they're amazing, but you don't remember a dang thing they said? Mm-hmm. All right? That means they probably have great stage mechanics or charisma, but they have really crappy content. Because if you can't tell me one thing that was memorable or a mic drop moment in that or a framework, then that's not great content and you're not going to get booked again because people can't tell you what it is. And then the other side of it is you could have killer content, but you talk like this the whole time and you're really calm and that's really nice, but I fall asleep. Or you could be talking like this the entire time throughout the whole entire presentation. You think you're killing it because you're bringing all this energy, and then at the end, people are exhausted because they're like, oh my gosh, I just got to listen to that. And so part of this is like learning the vocal variety and using the stage and telling stories and injecting humor. All of that plays into your fee. So I would say you have to evaluate yourself of what do my materials look like, what does my content look like, and how engaging am I on stage? And then that will tell you your starting point. An easy place is and some people struggle with asking for money. And if that's you, start with $500. Start with $1,500. Start with $3,000, like wherever, just throw a number out there. Because here's the thing, I read this in a book recently, is how bad it could be, is it if they're already not paying you? Mm-hmm. Right? It's like they're already not giving you the money, so throw whatever out and you might get it. You might not.
And always ask their budget too.
Right? That's the first question, is always never give a fee without asking their budget first.
Because you can play that game. Because sometimes they'll say nothing. Like, oh, we're not really sure what the budget is. And I honestly don't care what their budget is. Because if you went through my CRM, you could see everybody putting their budget in. And then I have the win number of what the win number is. People will say they have 2,000, I've gotten 10. They said they had 10, I got 15. Some people said they had like 25. I was like, oh, great, thank you so much. Like, it just depends.
But guess what? They say they have 25 and they have 65.
Exactly. So you can continue to push.
That's literally someone I just told recently.
Yeah. So it's like it's a game. So when y'all ask me what your fees are, and I'm like, like you said, I was like, I'm very happy that you gave that explanation of like all of those things matter. That's also why I thought the photo shoot was so important, because when I built this program, I was like, what can I control? I'm like, one thing I control is photography. And we were talking about, she was giving me cost saving ways. I'm like, okay, how can we do this? And like make it, because photo shoots and makeup are pricey. It was very pricey, y'all. Very pricey. I love y'all. Okay? Okay.
I said that to her. I was like, that sounds really expensive.
Yes.
You brought in a makeup artist. You did that. I was like, dang.
But I only picked people who I worked with because I wanted to make sure I can control it. Because you can't just get anyone to do makeup and anyone to do video and then anyone to do photos and expect it looks good. It's like I had a girlfriend who got married and she got a club photographer for the Lolo to do wedding photos. When I tell you she cried when she looked at those wedding photos, cried. Because when you have a wedding photo, anyone here who's gotten married before, you get the shoe shot with the I do on the bottom and the ring on the heel, and you need to get the flowers. He got none of that. It looked like, what was those flyers back in the day? Like in New York, it was like the like 24/7 or like after dark, like we all had back in the day. Like that's what all her photos look like. And she was devastated. So I was like, what am I going to do to y'all? So I'm going to control it. So I bought people who I loved, because I think personally, one of the reasons why I've gotten into so many rooms is because no matter how much experience I had, I looked like I had all the experience. I didn't have a demo video for that was one of the things Elle worked with me on. She's like, girl, it is time. Do it. And I was like, she's like, you're getting this and you've never had a demo video? I was like, well, I gave this link and that link and that link. But my photos and imagery always look so elevated. People are like, oh, I know she knows what she's doing. And that was my goal, that from your photos today, everyone who did the photo shoot, it's going to look like, no, yeah. Like, you've got to be good. And that also gives you the confidence, and you're going to show up on stage and be like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm that person. Mm-hmm. So the next question, you have something else?
Well, I was going to say, even if you have a photo that you love of yourself, but the background isn't like a state, throw that shit in AI and change the background. Like, I just did that. I was doing a podcast and I didn't like the background of the wall. It didn't match. And I was like, let me just change the background. Now I'm redoing my website right now. It's like the main photo on my website now. It's like, you guys, there's so many ways that we have that can make this happen so much faster than it used to be.
So my next question is, when people are pitching themselves, what do you feel like is the thing that makes people say hell yes? Like event planners or a company, when they're sending their pitch out, what is like, ooh, yeah, I need them on it?
There's a few different things. Some events do care a lot about social platforms, right? Some do. The majority do not, right? So don't get caught up on, we actually say social media is such like a small part of building your brand and such a small part of having a successful business. But if you are putting things on social media and you want to be a speaker, show you speaking. That's like the big thing. So what's important to them? I would say on any time you have a call with a meeting planner or someone reaching out for speaking, you have to do a sales call. So what are the fundamentals of a sales call? You build a relationship on the front end, you build connection, you find the need, you present, and then you close, right? And so what I mean by that is, on finding the need, you find out, well, tell me about the event. What are the goals? Who else is speaking? What are the things you're really looking for? What's the big takeaway? What would make this a home run for you? What are the things that they're not doing that you really want someone to speak to? All of that is information and knowledge that you're gathering, so that way when you present yourself, you go, oh my gosh, you're going to love this topic. Let me tell you why. And you just take everything they said that they wanted and everything they said they're struggling with, and you position your keynote to go, this is where we help you with that. This is exactly why I talk on this. Let me tell you what the takeaways are going to be. And they're like, oh, this sounds amazing, right? Now that's the first step. Usually there's other people involved, and that's the annoying part. And so, right, the more people involved, the more challenging it gets. And then you just send them, this is why you need to have a speaker kit and a demo video, because they're going to require that you send that over. And then you always schedule a follow-up call. I forgot the question.
No. You answered, which is perfectly fine. I'm going to open it up to y'all in just a moment. I have a closing question I'm going to ask at the end. But I want to talk a little bit to those of us who still have full-time jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so I've been doing this full-time for 5 years, but there's a lot of you here who still work full-time. Now, this is the legal disclaimer. Don't do what I said I'm going to do, because don't come to me if you lose your job. Okay, so I did the most when I worked full-time because I knew what my goal was. I had doctor's appointments and was speaking at a company. I would put on a blazer, change the lip, because that made me feel different, go speak at a company, and then come back to work and smile like nothing happened. Like, and it wasn't until someone recognized me in the elevator at one of my jobs. And it's funny, people, so my former company was called Manifest Yourself. Mm-hmm. And some people, they knew, that was my Instagram handle too. So she was like, oh my God, you're Manifest Yourself? Are you speaking here today? And when I tell you, that was the first time I was ever really ashamed of working full-time in my job. Because I wanted to say yes, but I was like, no, I work on this floor.
I'm manifesting I'm going to speak here by working here.
It didn't feel good, but that hustle back and forth.
Yeah.
So when I first started speaking, I spoke, and that's how I got promoted. Every single job I got was because someone saw me on a stage. I was not speaking to make money. I was speaking to build my brand, speaking to get jobs. That's how I built my brand that way. Now as an entrepreneur, I speak to get leads, or I'm either getting paid at that moment, or I know those leads will do the next thing. I think I've told you about some of the engagements I have coming up. There's some rooms I will speak in for free or low because I know I'm going to close 3, 4, 5 times what my fee would have been even at the full rate. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit. Any advice you have for people who are balancing like the full-time work, building their brand, like no matter what their goals are, what would you tell them?
I mean, that's me right now, right? Like I work full-time as head of sales for Brand Builders Group, right? Which is a full-time job. And then I'm also out promoting like myself as a speaker. And so I'm redoing my website right now. I'm doing a podcast right now. I'm doing all my new assets. And it's like, it's a lot of effing work. Mm-hmm. And I would say a couple things. Number one, the only timeline that you have is the timeline you put on yourself. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be seasons that you can go faster, and there's going to be seasons that you have to slow down. And I think just not taking your eye off what the goal is really important, but not beating yourself up because you're not getting there faster. I think people try to rush it too much, and that's where you go into burnout and exhaustion, and then it's like, it's a really hard path to have. The other part of that is like, I don't know if you guys have this, but I have bursts of energy sometimes. Like I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm creative right now, I'm gonna capitalize on this. And so I started doing work that I had to do. So I think it's like feed into your creative bursts. I think the other thing is know that this is not easy. Any business that you build is not easy. It's like you want to be in flow and you want to have balance, but it's like you got to go. There's seasons of you're working your tail off, and there's seasons where you reap the reward for that. And so I've had both. Right now I'm in a season of working my tail off, and I think that's okay. But this is where if you are building relationships, things get easier, right? Yeah. So I don't have any like motivational thing other than you got to work, right? What's Kim K's words?
Yeah. You got to work, yes.
Or Brittany's words, or whoever it is. It's like, it's just a lot of work. And it depends on how bad you want it. You might start doing the work and go, I don't want to do this. And guess what? That's okay. Like giving yourself permission to change your vision of what you want is okay. And you might do it and go, I freaking love this. And so I think it's just keep your eye on it and give yourself patience and grace of going, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen for me. I just got to keep working towards it.
I love that you shared that. I think people look at entrepreneurship nowadays and they expect that everybody wants to go full-time. You don't have to do it full-time, period. I know speakers who speak once every 6 months and they get their full rate. They're only speaking full rate and that is it. And when you have a good full rate, it feels nice. Mm-hmm. Like that pays for all of the luxuries, the vacations. Some people it's once a month. Sometimes it's once a year. For me, and I think when people talk about my entrepreneurship journey, I'm like, I was online on the internet since like 2011. I did not leave my job until 2021. That is 10 years. It was not 2 years. And I think
that's what people don't realize.
Yeah, it was 10 years of showing up online in different iterations for me to bet on myself and decide I wanted to do it. So there's no right or wrong. And honestly, if I had a job that was more flexible and celebrated entrepreneurs, I would have been okay getting a corporate check and getting an entrepreneurship check. And one of the stories I always tell is that I prayed this prayer, and I'm going to tell y'all not to pray it. Don't do it. Because it's not good. It leads to burnout. I told myself, Kimberly, like I will leave my full-time job when I'm no longer able to do both. I said that mess for years. And it led to burnout. I led to be on behavioral health leave. When you looked at my calendar, my last year in corporate America, I didn't have any vacation. Anytime I was on vacation, I was on somebody else's stage because I thought that I need to replace my full-time income. Now, all of you are in good jobs, which is one of the reasons why like I love my clients. Like anyone who's in a full-time job, they're like, you working. You don't have a play job. Okay? Like you don't. Because I think that's different. When you're talking to folks who have a play job, who don't have calls or don't have like their manager calling, you have no fires, you don't have team, you're not responsible for anything. Like that is very different. I had a global team. I was on calls at 5 a.m., at 7 a.m., at 7 p.m., at 8 p.m., at 9 p.m. End of day literally meant end of day.
That job sucked.
Yes, it is very different. And like being an entrepreneur, a coach told me, and I will never forget this, he sat me down and said, how do you ever think that you are supposed to like replace your income on the minimal brain cells that you have left for your company? And it was like, no one ever told me that before. Like you are expecting to give 100. Like there's only 100. And you're really giving 100 because you don't have a play job. Sorry if that offends someone my husband says that's rude when I say that, but we know what that means. Because when we think about the jobs we've had in the past, you know when you had a play job and you relaxed and you know when you worked hard. There's two different things. But I'm like, it was very different. He's like, there's no way you can replace that income when you have all of your brain cells. He's like, imagine what would happen when all of your brain cells come over here. So what I worked on is developing a pipeline. Mm-hmm. And when I had a pipeline and I looked at I got my bonus and I looked at the next 6 to 9 months, I was like, okay, I am guaranteed this money. And that is why I left. And I waited. It wasn't because I replaced, because it was going to be impossible to replace. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs won't say that. And I think that also you have to figure out whatever your number is and stick to it. Because there's never going to be enough money if that's what your goal is to do it full time. Because you're always, once you have 30,000, you're like, 50 would be great. Well, maybe 75. Once I have 6 months of living expenses. Well, after I pay off my mortgage, then I'll do it. Like after I have the kids' college fund completely like filled out, then I'll do it. Then you're just not going to do it. You just have to be comfortable and bet on yourself. And I think if you've listened to like my podcast, I made 4 times what I ever made in my business that first year out. And I left in May. And by December of that year, I was like, oh my God, because I had time. Mm-hmm. So I want to open it up to y'all. All of the questions, please feel free. And we're going to restate them.
We always say kind of what you were just saying, let your day job fuel your dream job.
Yeah.
Right? Like let it fund it. And so it's going, if you have a day job that is a blessing to give you money, to invest in like y'all are doing today. So that way you can build what you need to go launch with it.
And I just need to say this before you say that. It feels so weird to be drinking on camera. This feels like very bro.
Oh, it's on brand for me. This is on brand.
Every time I take a sip, my body's like, oh my God. Like, thank you so much. Go ahead, Jen.
Welcome to doing business together.
Yes.
I'm doing it.
Every time I talk to Elle, I generally drop about 5 figures. So I'm just giving you the warning. But I think that we need that. We need to sell ourselves aggressively. And you could do it aggressively and nicely. and build that relationship in the selling relationship. It's amazing. So Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Y'all, this filled me up so much. Thank you. Like, it really was so awesome.
I love that.
You guys are, I could just tell, like, what a freaking amazing group this is.
They are. They're incredible.
I'm like, can we do this next week?
Let us know. Come on back. Come on back. Someone else paying though. But thank y'all.